Well, hello, everybody. It's very nice to meet most of you. I think I've met a lot of you virtually. Here we go. Here we go. Thank you. But it's good to meet you all in person. Uh-oh, now Gary's on the phone. So I'm about a year and a half into Stinson knowledge, but I think a little bit of my history kind of sets me up for what I'm doing here with you guys. Is I was a J3 Cub guy. I know John Swick's not happy about that, right? But that's my first airplane I ever rode in was J3 Cub, and so when I bought one back in North Carolina where I lived, I was in a hunger for finding information on the internet about the airplane. And I think that the Cub did the same thing that the Stinson is a lot of our tribal knowledge resides in the heads and hearts and minds of people that aren't necessarily on the internet very much. So at that time, I joined the Cub Club, but their website never had a forum, never had much going on. So I built, owned, and maintained a site called j3-cub.com for 12 years. And that got over about 3,700 members on it. And it became the one place that you go for Cub information until someone came along and said, I really want your website. And they offered me a lot of money for it. And I was like, okay, you can have it. So sold that off. Cub went away. As you saw my family during one of the breaks, I had my wife totally convinced into getting the Cessna 195. So I was all totally cool with that. Then I inherited my Stinson, and I was like, okay, well, I guess the Cessna 195's off. So I come and I join the Stinson Club, and at that time, and this wasn't that long ago. I don't even know when we launched this new website. It's probably been 8 months, something like that. There was a website that you could go to for the Stinson Club. It was static. It had some information on it. It linked over to another website, which was a forum. And I just really couldn't harvest much information on the internet. So I ended up calling and talking to Brian, Moffitt, yes. And saying, hey, you know, if you ever want to do something with the website, I've got a little bit of back history. But I want you to understand that he and I are on way different wavelengths of ability around programming, computer programming. He is a programmer. I mean, he can build something out of code. I can't. I like using tools that are plug and play. Thank you, Gary. Plug and play and things that I think that's important going forward because you know, if I step out of this role and someone else steps in behind me, it needs to be something that that person can continue to operate. So we went through back and forth with a lot with Brian, and I think over a little bit of period of time, I put together a list of what I was kind of thought I could do for the website, and I presented that to Jody and the board, and they were like, well, let's give it a try, and so that's what we did. I took over as the webmaster and built this website here using a very common, easy to use software called WordPress. Basically, it's whatever you type is what you see. No programming what required. And there are plugins that you plug into this software. If you want a forum, you put a plugin in. If you want a store, you put a plugin in. And that just makes it really simple to go forward with. So this is kind of the website, and I know it's kind of hard to see. I guess I can pinch and zoom it just a little bit. I might sit down because it's a little bit easier while we walk through this. But on the very home page, on the right-hand side, you can kind of see some of the things that have been going along in our forum. And then these little gray boxes here, there was a transition to get people out of the old site into the new site. And one of those boxes is how you're going to join. If you were in the old forum, you click this link, update your password, and you're in. Or if you're new, you join. Now I'm logged in as Brett right now, so I can show a couple of things. But at the end, I'll kind of show you how easy it is to log in. But earlier today, we talked about newcomers coming to the airplane. So we built if you want to buy a Stinson, here is a link to a Wikipedia about a Stinson. Here's the presentation that Brett gave at Oshkosh. There's another video of this gentleman who restored his to show quality and who walks around it. And really, if somebody's really interested in the airplane, it kind of gives them a good view of it. And then these guys too, who bought, they have a little web channel called the what is that? Great Michigan Bush Company, and they have 2 Stinsons and fly them all around. And then we kind of gave a link to some resources if you're looking for somebody to have, to do a pre-buy. And we want to build those kind of lists out. But I think this is kind of good for someone who's just coming in and wants to know something about the airplane. It gives them a one-stop shop kind of place to go to. Then we have just club details, if you want to see the member list, if you want to see newsletters, those kind of things. But this is kind of the big thing. This is a tech knowledge base. Also, you'll notice every time the page refreshes, new pictures come up. Just kind of makes the site look alive and fresh. So what's kind of cool here is we have these different topics, and it's really hard to see on this background, but one of them is 337s, one of them is airframe, engines, propellers, STCs, tools, wings. Well, you can click into one of these, say Franklin engine, you want to know about the 165, and you want to know about exhaust valve differences. What we've done is we've taken the CD-ROM that you used to buy for $25, and we're slowly taking that data and moving it into this knowledge base. Because in the old club, you would pay $30 and join, and then if you wanted to, you'd pay $25 for a CD, but the CD was as old as when you got it. So in the new world, we're offering free, that gets you into the forum, but you don't get anything else. $30, you join the club, but you don't get access to the tech knowledge base, or you pay the extra $10, $40 total, and you get access to the database. And so what we'll do is we'll slowly bring the stuff out of the CD-ROM into the tech base, and even we've stripped out Yahoo group, all the emails out of Yahoo groups, and stripped out all the stuff out of the Facebook page. But then I run into a limfac. I've got these 2 databases, but I'm not a programmer, so I've got to get somebody like Brian or somebody to help me figure out how to get that data put back in here.
So will that be dynamic? Will it keep growing then? Or?
Well, it's going to take a little bit of us continuing to do it. So, what I'd like to see is as a subject that's very passionate comes on in any of our channels, and we should be aware of this, we have our current website here, we have Facebook, and we also have Yahoo Groups email chain that goes back and forth. So those 3 channels are always running, and there's different people in each of those channels. Some people are in Yahoo are not in Facebook. Some people that are on, this website are not in Yahoo Groups. I don't think there's any way to really bring all 3 channels together, if you will.
Is this page linked to the Yahoo forum?
Not really, no. Because the Yahoo group is not a forum, it's an email exchange. So when you send an email to that, it goes out to everyone. When someone replies, that gets emailed to everyone. Yeah, so I'm not sure what the technical name for that is. It's a mail server, I think is what it's called. And some people enjoy that way of interacting.
Let me ask you this, is there information about how to go to that?
Yes, there is. There is.
There's also talk about at some point Yahoo shutting that down as well.
Yeah, concern.
Yeah.
I mean, Yahoo, let's think of where, Yahoo is in the technical advances. That kind of email exchange thing isn't really their wheelhouse. So what happens if Yahoo just all of a sudden says, we're not doing this anymore, and then we lose all of the data that we've collected over years in that. That's why it was important to go in there and strip all that data and get it. So you go through the tech base is one thing, but then we've also got here parts and services. It's kind of a similar idea. Again, this is really hard to read on this screen, but there's flight instruction, maintenance pre-buy, vendors. So we're slowly building those kind of things in. And under resources, this is kind of a similar vein. We've got a couple of different things: Stinson pre-buy help, Stinson mechanics. safe places, like if you're traveling and something happens and you want to land in, with someone who's Stinson friendly. What's cool about this is if anyone is a Stinson mechanic, they can click on the little link just above, says click here. It's a little form, fill it out, and then it populates that form. So we hope to really build that out and really give some resources back to our members. The forum is just that. It's a forum that you would go in and you would find a topic that you want to discuss and add that. So we have engine, prop, fuel. That's actually a direct rip. So the old forum, we actually collected all that data, ingested it in here so we didn't lose any. But what I noticed is there's not a whole lot of current interaction with this forum today. I think everyone lives in this instantaneous, and I'm the world's worst, getting on Facebook, post a, hey, what is this? It's just instantaneous gratification, either that or Yahoo groups. More so than posting it on the forum, then somebody has to go look at the forum and see it. But we do have a forum there. And then we have things like events. Oh, I missed the shop. We'll go back to that in a second.
Can I stop you there? A question on the technical side.
Yeah.
If you wanted to put, is there a way that if you put a question on there, you can alert people on a weekly basis, here's the questions or something, could be active sending it out?
So there is a way that when you sign up for the forum, every new post, you would get an alert that there's a new post. So you would get that via email or if you visited the site. But really, other than that, there's not much of a technical alert that we could do that you could opt in for. So we have a place here where we can put alerts, like here's the thing for the Stinson forum, and we can actually add other things in here, which we haven't populated anything just yet. So the shop, I think, is pretty interesting too. You saw the table full of shirts and that. Over there, the club has had to, buy, 20 large shirts in blue, 20, extra large shirts in maroon. In other words, the club has to incur a lot of inventory and then store that, and then when someone buys it, pack it and ship it. Well, in my J3 Cub world, we used a drop shipper, and that's what we're using here on this site too. So right now there are a number of different products that you can go in and buy. And what's great about that is the drop shipper holds all the inventory. You pick out what you want. I want a hat, and I want it camouflage, and I want it bright green Stinson logo. And they stitch it and ship it to your house, so the club doesn't have to do all that. And that's kind of how this would happen. It would come in a box here. It would say it's from the Stinson Club, and then there's a version of the hat that you want to send around. Or, since we did our new logo, on the website you can order these logos. They come in 3x3 inch, 4x4, and 5x5 inch. And they're die cut, so if you look, the sticker starts right at the edge of the logo. I think they're really high quality, and they're not very much. They're like $3 or $4. So we get $1 out of each one of those. The other $3 goes to the drop shipper, but it takes a lot of load off the club, not having to maintain all of that work. So you go in here, you click the hat. I want a hat, and this thing's going to populate. And there are all these different, if your wife wants a pink hat, you get a pink hat. If you want a brown hat, you get a brown hat. And then you just pay your credit card, it goes straight to them, and they ship the stuff to your house. I think I remember you mentioned something about making some water bottles and stuff too, some Camelback bottles or something. Did you mention? No?
Bob Steele.
Oh, was it Bob Steele?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
He works hard.
Right.
He's talking about making something up and making that thing.
What's cool is we can throw those right in there too. So, that works out really great. Restoration blogs. So Randy came up and told us about his blog today. What I've been trying to do is capture all of those blogs into one place. So you can click on any one of these, and this is his. And here's the link, and it would take you directly to his website. Oh, it popped the. So you have pop-up blocker turned on. Okay, but anyway, that's how that would work. And I find this really cool because in my restoration, I like to go to other people's blogs and look at pictures because then I'll see something that I didn't know. And I have mine listed in here as well. So here's a quick link. So if you click on that ICS Facebook, it's going to do that. It's going to take you right to the Facebook page. I guess that's kind of on the cellular. I guess we don't really need to do that. There you go. Takes you right to that. If I can get back to our website. Let's talk about join. Let me log out here so I can show you what the join looks like. Okay, so I'm logged out, so I'm going to click join. This is how hard it is to join the club. You pick what you want. I want free, which means I'm going to get to the forum only. I think that's a good thing because what you want to do is you want to show the data out there, and if someone's new and they don't know about our club, you want to give them a little taste of it and then go, okay, what I see on this forum is worth the value of joining. Or they can join for $30, which they'll get access to the forum and the newsletters and support our club, but they don't get the knowledge base, the parts and service knowledge base or any of that. Well, almost everyone goes to the 40. So I would click the 40, and then a form is going to pop up. Tells you exactly what you're getting. You fill out your name, address, and then we have some information here like, do you want your newsletter electronic or do you want it print? Because it's obviously a lot less costly to the club to send it electronically than print, but we have a lot of people that like print. Are you an A&P mechanic? Why are we asking that? Because we're going to put that in our database. The same as the tailwheel CFI and stuff. And then you go to PayPal and you put in your credit card and you're in. Now kind of the cool part about that is that Lynn, what's Lynn's last name? McDonald? Yeah, O'Donnell. She, let's see if this picks up my phone, gets an email right when you sign, says new sign up. And it comes with all that information that you filled in. So she knows to go into her record as our membership record and update all that, that this person is not an A&P, they want it electronic, they found us by a friend or reference. So kind of what the website has really done is it's helped streamline a lot of the processes inside this club, which I think is going to pay off for us in the long run because as we're all just custodians of the airplane, we're going to sell it. It's probably going to come to someone newer and younger, and they're going to expect to have some of this kind of access. And I actually think the club's going to grow a lot in that regard. And so if we can streamline the workflow, then maybe we can expand a little better and then regionally handle that too.
Well, we just expanded with the,
That's true.
and we still have the L5s, the 10As, the 105s, those guys, although they're not commuting,
Right.
we've got room to work on that.
So we were waiting until this to actually onboard, the National Stinson Club guys into this, and so we'll work with Lynn because some of them are already paid up and such. So just to get them into the site, but when they log in, it'll be really simple for them just to go in there and we'll. I have a tool on the back end that we can accredit them for the year, so they don't have to put in their credit card and such. But that's just a kind of a quick overview of where our website is and where it's growing, and I hope it's working out for folks. Yes, sir.
First of all, Jody, how many paying members you say we have now? I think you mentioned it earlier.
So we have just a little over 400 now.
Right. Well, when you look at this, you had there's the free and the 30 and the 40,
Right.
and you mentioned support the club. It was hard to see that. It didn't look like support the club was one of the features of the $30. You might want to stick that in there
That's
so people
good.
realize that they support our,
Right.
you can figure out a way to word it. But
Yeah.
you put it in there. So that's actually a benefit of going with the 30. For people that are like looking for an airplane or something, they
Right.
did that in the day because they're not have the airplane yet. And secondly, I saw there was a program like this, I guess a website some years ago that showed, this was about the pilots, where pilots want to have your location broadcast, you can default out or, click out. But for our paying members anyway, they can go to the map
Right.
and see where Rogers and serial number 108 is located. Maybe for their banana trip or
Right, like a heat map. In other words, you see dots where everyone is.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You can zoom in about.
There's probably a way
Might be
to
a plug-in on that.
take our membership
It.
list.
Nothing urgent, but I mean, it's just something to think about when you're trying to build
Yeah.
a sense of organization.
Yes. That can be something we look at for sure.
Well,
Yeah, Kyle.
in an effort to attract younger people into this, like you said, we use stewards of these aircraft now, and it'd be nice to have a up-and-coming younger generation take an interest in this. Is there a way to link this information to organizations like the universities that have flight programs and try to generate some interest there? Because
That's interesting. Yeah, I haven't really thought about that. One of the things I didn't mention about this website going to WordPress is our old website was kind of desktop defined, and if you tried to look at it on a mobile device, it didn't render well. And this automatically adjusts to mobile phones. I kind of thought that's where you're going, like a mobile app or something. But yeah, I never really thought about approaching. At Southwest, we just started that whole, Destination 225, trying to bring people in from different ways. Maybe that's something that all type clubs kind of should probably target a little bit.
Along that point about working with the universities, as I fly Young Eagles, the thing that I find amazing, especially for the college kids, they have no idea the value of these vintage airplanes.
Mm-hmm.
In their mind, they got to buy a new airplane, or they're looking at a
Serious.
Yeah, and nobody's even brought the vintage airplanes to their attention.
Yeah.
well, especially since Brett, you mentioned several times it informs that how affordable the airplane is, and I think that should be one of the first things. Is these kids, they're buying airplanes in college,
Right.
and a lot of them like to ponytail drag through it, and shoot cut 180s and stuff like that.
Right.
And with airplane is something that's in between those two.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point.
Like I said, attracting that crowd, you're ready to move 11, I think that might be.
We might have to put McKinsey on that.
You know,
Yes, sir.
One of the things I would say, kind of in that same vein, when you said you got that spot and you want to buy a Stinson, is there some way you could put in kind of a spotter's guide? For the longest time, I didn't like Stinsons because they had a big ass ugly tail.
Right.
And then I found out about dash tubes. Jody, I know you like big ass tail. If you could put, he said, rely on the L5, the dash 2, the dash 3, just kind of a stick figure, but
That's a good
something
idea.
on that page that says spotter's guide. This is the difference between these things.
Well,
a Stinson isn't just a Stinson.
I got a huge awakening when I started working with Randy about the national Stinson side. I'm only really aware of the 108 series. And then when you start talking about the variants of radial engine Stinsons, I was like, because I've got to go back into this knowledge base thing and kind of figure out how to break it out to where we have our version and their version. Now, obviously, there's higher concentration on very specific models that are currently flying, and a lot of them aren't really flying actively.
And I guess that's where I was going with it. It's not supposed to be, in my mind, it's not supposed to be this historical database of every make model. But if you see one of these at an airport, or if you're looking for one of these, then this is the model that it is.
Probably we should take John's book and figure out a way to take a little bit out of, maybe, a little bit out of that and give him credit for it and link out to his book too, to kind of use a little information, but then give him.
he's in the hotel
I spoke to him about taking parts of his book and particularly putting it into the newsletter.
Right.
We can add it to the newsletter, but he says as long as we make credits of where.
Yeah, credit to him, and then provide a link back if somebody wants to buy his book.
So he's on board.
That sounds good.
Might want to provide a link back to Aircraft Spruceburg, people can actually click word of the book.
Is that where you get it from?
That's what I got my
Yeah.
copies.
Yeah, we can do that.
I think this is an outstanding, and
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
one thing is just an observation, especially as you all know, I'm passionate about promoting the brand, selling the brand. One thing that's missing is the people behind the scenes.
Yeah.
And maybe there's an opportunity to put something on there about, the fun pictures that we have here and the camaraderie that we have, because just like people, the aircraft is going to attract the people, but what's going to get them to join our group is the people.
Well, I forgot to mention the tech channel, that Randy runs on Facebook, YouTube. What I do is I link back to each one of those so that you don't necessarily have to go to YouTube to find them. And it may take just a few moments for these to pop up because, again, we're on cellular here. But everyone that he puts up there, we've got kind of double linked here, one-stop shopping. But, we could build some videos to that, like videos of this and place it right here too.
Videos or even stills, because the example that I used at Oshkosh, if you ask somebody that owns a motorcycle, a Harley Davidson, and you ask them why they own the Harley, and they're going to tell you because it's rugged, the best motorcycle out there. Baloney. A Honda will blow it away in quality, okay? But the reason they own a Harley is they want to be part of the group.
Right.
And somehow we need to promote that as we're good guys to be around.
Yeah.
They all almost say Harley.
Yeah.
Then maybe we'll all grow long hair and get a leather vest.
Yeah.
Sorry, but Stinson's not getting up here in the bad.
We got a question over here.
We don't have to
Oh, I'm
go
sorry.
there first.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Well, right up here at the very home page, remember there were 3 blocks up here? Again, it takes a minute for the...
Jim, you mean how to get password to the website? Okay.
So number 1 was if you were in the old one, click that link and establish a new password. The second block is if you're new, join. And the third block is if you have any problems, email me. So just click on that webmaster right there and I can go in and I can set any password you want.
What if you forgot your password? I'm sorry.
Same thing, if you click on it, you tell me what password you want, I can go into the back end and set it. So that should get you in. Right. Well, it's certainly been a transition too. I mean, we've moved a lot of cheese, so some moldy cheese is probably going to fall in there too. Every now and then. We'll get you squared away with it.
You call it Jim Golden Cheese?
Moldy cheese.
I got a lot of rules.
Yes, sir.
You can get the link to the tech channel, there's little videos. Now, ISC doesn't have a YouTube video channel of our own, is that?
We do, and Randy manages that.
Okay, is it separate from the tech channel?
Well, it is the tech channel. I don't think.
That's what I'm getting at. Okay, so there's nothing on here about videos per se. So we're talking about trying to reach younger people. And, they like videos. A lot of people are putting these GoPro cameras like on their everybody. I don't know anybody here doing that. I haven't done that yet. But there are people like this Michigan Bush Company.
Right.
And others, I assume others with Stinsons, and there probably more of that in the future. So maybe, we could go to this area where we have videos. So there you have some people that are going out and showing, some people get pretty arty with it, some people are kind of cheesy. But you could get like a video of Lynchburg, which might have other airplanes mixed into it, but also Stinsons. That would attract some of these people that don't understand the value of vintage aircraft. Some of the more action-oriented videos would attract some of the younger people.
So what you're saying is a YouTube channel
Well, video here.
that people can
upload
upload to.
Video,
Yeah.
so I have a Stinson YouTube channel.
What is the current channel that you're using, Randy? Is it just a?
Just a standard YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I've got a bunch of GoPro footage from my plane
Yeah.
that I've flight in Oshkosh and things
You
like
want that
that.
separate from the tech stuff.
Yeah.
There's more entertainment and then drop people in. So
We could just store that somewhere on YouTube and then just link to it on
It's
there.
interesting if you think about it, when you go to somebody, and I'm not a YouTube expert, I know that I go on there and, I follow Draco until it crashed and those kind of things. But there are playlists, if you will. So the tech channel could be a playlist in that, but we could have a page that was opened up for people to post their own videos. But then we've kind of got to wonder whether we're pulling together or diluting. It's really hard to pull all this stuff into one place. But hopefully we're getting a little bit better. Yes, sir.
I just wonder, the use of the newsletter anymore is sort of disappearing. Years ago when we never had the internet, all these things, there was technical stuff, there was contract, it was how you sold things. No, that isn't the way all that happens now. I think the idea of going to the regional things was great. But I think, is a newsletter just an email once a couple of months of things that are happening, like the events section, to remind people the club is active, and maybe once a year do a better newsletter or a printed one that we distribute to all members so that whether they're new, you've got a record of it, it could be who came to each by person or plane who came to each event. So if in a year's time you have 5 events next year or whatever you want to do it, you can have a couple of pages on each, but obviously have an Oshkosh one, but the other one is to show the club is active wherever. We send some pictures from somewhere foreign as well. Just complimenting. But there's something you physically print out and send out to a member once a year, not try and do something monthly or 10 a year or whatever.
So we find a lot of members, particularly that are very, very rural, they want that newsletter physically mailed to them.
Yeah.
But there's, guys looking at the newsletter every month. They're looking for it. One of the challenges that we do have is coming up with articles to put in the newsletter.
Sure.
So if any of you guys are an expert on something, or you want to talk about your flight to wherever, we'll put it in there. You're flying in England, Europe. Maybe you want to talk about that. That'd be a great article. But to keep that out in front of everybody, I think if we drew back from that, it would be a disservice to the members. Because there's a lot of folks that really want that newsletter. And in fact, I've heard, and I don't know who it is here, but several who saw it in the newsletter, we're having a summit here. And if you don't keep that in front of people, they forget.
I think what we could do with the site is make a form, where you could go in and put in a title and some copy and attach some photos and then hit submit, and it goes right to our editor. In other words, you're not having to find who is it that I send it to. We make it simpler for people to ingest information. It might get to the newsletter a little better.
Just another point of curiosity, if you are not active on Facebook, raise your hand. Wow. Good.
Yeah, I know from dealing with 10,000 pilots, it's hard to get 10,000 pilots all on the same sheet of music sometimes. Right? Yep. Yep. But I tell you, what we want to do is try to glean information and get it stored, before we lose the tribal knowledge away from the airplane. That would be horrible. I mean, I sit there working on mine. I use YouTube all the time. My air conditioner goes out. I get on YouTube, air conditioner out, go out and check this wire. Bam, fixed. I want to do the same thing in my restoration. I just want to go over to Randy's blog or something and go, oh, that's how he fixed that. Or, oh, this is a direct replacement for that, and that is so helpful when you're trying to keep this thing flying. Well, thank you very much. It's been a pleasure showing it to y'all, and I've enjoyed this a whole lot, period, this whole event. Thanks.